Good afternoon, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. For some percent. Peace and wisdom. Now, as you guys all know, I'm the guy who teaches the sperm is the spirit, the egg is the body. Now, in this video, I want to discuss the egg being the body, because many people are having a hard time grasping this. The egg cell. You can refer to a chicken's egg. So I want to show y'all an image from my new book. And on the top you have the baby within the amniotic sac. And below you have the chicken coming out of the egg. Now I told people, I said the amniotic sac is nothing more than the egg shell. So the amniotic sac is nothing more than a soft eggshell. And it's soft because it's within a woman's body. A chicken's egg is not within the body. It's exposed to air, therefore it gets hard. But an amniotic sac is nothing more than the shell of the egg. And all the yolk that was within the egg, this is the stuff that becomes the body. So you have to grasp, the eggshell is the eggshell. The yolk within the eggshell, all the materials within the shell, this is what becomes the chicken, or the body. The sperm cell is nothing more than the charge of conscience. But the blood, the bones, all of these things is what the egg is. So when you see an egg and you crack it and you see the yolk come out, all of that is the materials that make the body. Heart, blood, everything is within that yolky substance that is the egg. And it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp, like I was saying. Many people view the amniotic sac as different than the egg shell because the egg shell is hard and the amniotic sac is not. Now the amniotic sac, for those that may not know, this is when you hear a woman say, my water broke. This is to say the egg hatched and the baby's ready to come out. But it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. This is an egg cell. This is an egg. A chicken's egg. As you can see, I cracked the top because I wanted to expose the amniotic sac. See, you guys thought that was the whole egg, didn't you? You said, man, that's just a regular egg. But I removed the shell. You just can't tell. And this soft spot, which is just like the amniotic sac of a woman, same thing. So this is my point. The shell is just the amniotic sac that hardened, being as though it was exposed to air. So it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. The egg, when you see the egg, and I say the egg is the body, don't get lost on the hard shell. But understand, this shell is really soft. If you can just scrape the top level of the shell off. What lies beneath the shell is the true shell, which is the amniotic sac. And it's soft. I'm not sure how good you guys can see. I know it looks just like a hard egg, but it's not. It's what's within. So it's a very deep thing I want you guys to grasp. The egg is the body. And the sperm is the spirit. And these two merging is how you get yourself. So when I say the spirit is trapped within the body and the body is the hell, you have to grasp. When I say the sperm is the spirit, I am talking about the sperm cells within the semen, not the semen. If the tail of the sperm falls off, I didn't say that the tail was the spirit. I said the sperm was. So if the sperm didn't fall off, then you don't need to bring that up and say, hey, Silas, the tail fell off the sperm cell, so that means it's not the spirit. That makes no sense. Please grasp. I know Eligio said this, but he's not that smart. If y'all cannot see that at this point in life, I don't know what to tell you. Many teachers, they do not teach anything. They just get online and they talk. And they tell you their problems and they tell you who they don't like. They speak about the latest drama, this thing, that thing. I teach. All of my videos have to do with teaching. It doesn't have to do with me rambling about myself and all this weird stuff. So it's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. But Eligio is one of the first people to say the sperm isn't the spirit and the egg isn't the body and all this weird stuff. And he said because the tail falls off. You also had Osei Kufor say the blood was the spirit, that I'm wrong. And you had many teachers come forth and say that I was wrong. But we all know the blood is not the spirit because the blood, people get blood transfusions. You don't see people getting blood transfusions and then they're someone else. So you have to grasp. Besides, women push blood out of their body monthly. So if the blood was the spirit, what sense would that make? Why is she pushing her spirit? Why is she bleeding her spirit out? Mind you, blood is physical substance. The charge, which is the sperm cell, is truly nothing more than a charge covered in semen. And this is why you see it. Because of that semen and the little charges that it creates to give you a perspective of sight of it. Other than that, you wouldn't see sperm cell at all. So it's a very deep thing I want you guys to grasp. You're basically the sperm cell that got the egg cell. And everyone you see is a sperm cell inside of their egg. The egg just developed. When I say the egg, do not confuse it with the shell. But the yolky substance that's within the shell is the stuff that becomes the body. And when you're dealing with a woman, the shell does not harden. So it remains like what's beneath a chicken's egg, the soft amniotic sac, which is now beginning to deflate. So, you know, it's really wet and nasty, and it's just like the amniotic sac. No different, because it's the same thing. The sperm is the spirit, the egg is the body, and that's how it always works, no matter what the species of life may be. So it's a deep thing. It's just like plants. You have the seed, sperm. And then you have the ground, the egg cell. So it's a deep thing. Here's your earth. Here's your world. And the spirit goes inside the world develops into the body you see, and the micro life is still within you. And chakras, which are your planets, this is all within you. So it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. This becomes this, or that. It's a deep thing. The egg becomes the body. So it's a deep thing. If the sperm cell does not penetrate the egg and fertilizes it, bodies get pushed out as waste. Meaning, the body got no life. It had no spirit, no conscience. So it's waste, and it's pushed out if it is not fertilized. And I also want to clarify a thing, because some people have this misconception that on a monthly basis, women produce many eggs. And this is not true. There's one egg that a woman pushes down every month. Not a bunch of them, just one. A bunch of sperm cells come out, but only one egg cell. So we just have to get a little more clear on the things I'm teaching and understand that they correlate with all the many different ancient texts that y'all look to understand. So when Jesus says the Holy Ghost, he's speaking of the sperm cell. When he speaks of the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. When you read Genesis right in the beginning, and it says, in the beginning it was dark and void, and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters. It is speaking of the sperm cell moving through the womb. Within your body is what? Liquid. So it's a simple thing y'all have to grasp. As above, so below. Our sky, all the way up, that dark space that you see at night, that is nothing more than a womb on a macro, and it's filled with liquid, like anything. This is why when spaceships or even planes fly in the air, they have like frost on them. Sometimes you see the window wet, dripping with water. The reason for that is because there's nothing but water in space. Well, not nothing but water, but it's mostly water. Just like your body is mostly fluid. So it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. This is all breaking down the body. If you're talking about the heavens, or you're talking about the inside of a body, you're speaking of the same thing. If you're talking about a world like Earth, you're talking about a body. All bodies are worlds. The Earth is within the solar system, which is our star. It is a part of that solar system. You have an immune system. It's the same thing. That's why planets are likened to chakras. Chakra points. You have 7 chakra within you. We have 7 planets, and then they say we have 8, 9, 10, and then they say, no, we was wrong, we only got 9, and so this is my point. Now, you have many other chakras within you besides the major 7. And it's the same up above. There's 7 planets we know of for certain. And then you have other smaller as well as bigger ones that we can't truly be for sure if they are part of this solar system or not. And this is my point. The solar system is nothing more than the macro body. And we're the cells within. And you're the same. You're the macro body and you have the cells within. And we view life from within. So when you look up above, you're looking at the innards of a body. When the cells within you look around your body, they're looking at the innards of it. It's like a secret. You only get to see what's on the other side of the flesh, meaning the life within me, they only get to see what's out me if they get an egg cell. So it's a deep thing. You came out of the world that you were in. You was born out of that world to live in the world you came out of. So your mother was your world, and you was born out of her to live in the same exact world that she lives in. You ascended up in life from a cell to an organism. It's a deep thing. You went from one level of life to a whole nother level of life. The life you lived as a cell, that whole universe, and you looked around and it looked just like ours looked to us, you was born out of that universe. It was called your mother. And you was able to look at the universe that you was within face to face. And you was now a universe yourself. And you had the micro life within, you had the planets within, which we call chakras. And it's a deep, 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 beautiful thing. But it's a terrible thing as well, because this is the darkness that the religions speak about. Spirits trapped in darkness are the fallen angels. Fell and took on physical form. It's talking about when a man releases semen, sperm cell, and drops it into a woman's womb, which is no different than space up above. Endless, bottomless pit of darkness. And the spirits fall in there and take on fleshly form. We call that getting an exhale, and there you have it. It's such a deep, cold-blooded thing, but wisdom is the way to knowing everything. So y'all can read all these texts all y'all want, but until y'all grasp real life, text ain't gonna never make no sense. Y'all gonna say, oh no, they was talking about this thing or that thing, and the fallen angels are real. Yeah, they real. They everybody you see around you. It's called reproducing. Fallen angels reproduce, have offspring. Therefore, all is the fallen angels, because all is the offspring of those who got the first egg cell, all bodies. So grasp. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. Y'all looking for fallen angels that fail, and you don't need to. You are that. That story is about you. The story about Lucifer and all of this stuff, it's relevant to you. The reason you have these stories is because it's explaining your beginnings, how you got to this existence. Because man is born and they have no clue where they came from. You have no clue why they're born into this life. We don't know why we're here. We just here. That's why. You're here because you fell in the darkness. And it's a deep thing. You fall in the darkness, you forget all about the light, which you are within. Become disconnected from that, and all you know is your darkness. You become one with your darkness. You're molded by the darkness. You only adopted the darkness. I was born in returning to Bane. I was born into the darkness. It molded you. It's a deep thing. That's all of y'all. So grasp. It's the wise serpent. For sunset. Peace and wisdom.